In this video, I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to save money correctly to build wealth. Be sure to watch it to the end for something special. All right, let's just really jump into this. But before we do all of that, hey, this is Glendon Cameron, founder of Hustlers Kung Fu, that baby launch pad for hustlers and raw business people. You'll get information here that you will not get anywhere else. So with that, let's just jump into it, because this is very, very important. You got many people who are trying to, change their financial footprint, change that blueprint for the fam. And I think they're going about it the wrong way. So I'm going to drop a little knowledge on some things that you need to do, how to save for wealth. Now, this is not investing. This is not hustling. These are sound financial tactics that anyone can do regardless of income. See, this is the thing. And this is what causes a lot of problems. And I want you to hear me. Many people think that, hell, if I make more money, I'm going to solve all my problems. Things are going to get better. And temporarily they will. But unless you learn how to manage money, money will always manage you. So one of the first things that you have to do is create a personal operational budget. Now, this is something that used to be taught in school. This is something that everyone had. They used to teach you how to balance checkbooks and stuff, and because it was important stuff. Now they just took all of that out of school. They took the arts out of the school. Now you have a bunch of people out here who are just confused and wondering, how can I make this thing work the way that I want it to work? So stage one, first step, operational budgets. And what does that mean? You will go to your bank and you're going to open up, now do this. See that, because many but it's not really working out like that. So just some of the together your financial blueprint to get wealthy. Now let's talk about this car thing. This is probably hands down one of the things that kills most people. You make 35 grand a year, and this is going to be very controversial. Unless you saved up the money and you're making 35 grand a year, you cannot afford a new car. And I'm going to give you the math. Let's say you get a $25,000 car, and you put the minimum down, and you're paying anywhere from $450 to $700 a month. People are paying these notes. Don't trip. Okay, so you're making 35 a year, which means you're bringing home, after deductions, insurance and stuff, anywhere from $2,400 a month to maybe $28 cash. All right, so you've got this $500 car note. You're paying anywhere from $60 to $100 and some dollars in car insurance. So that's like $600 and something, close to $700. Then there's gas. Let's throw $200 in that. So you're at $900. Let's just say between everything, expenses, car maintenance, oil changes, you're at $850 to almost a G on that car. And you only bring home, let's say you bring home on that high side, 28. So 30-some% of your budget is gone on your car. Now, if you remove that car payment, that's a lot of money. $450, $500, $600, $700 that goes back into your budget that you can use to build wealth. And this is what happens. Many people are out there living, they're enjoying life, but they're not doing the things that will set them up for future wealth. And this isn't about just being super frugal. This is just about realizing where you are in the financial jungle, financial food chain, and what you can and cannot do, or what you should and should not do. Now, after you've done all of that stuff, you open up your bank accounts, you label them, you did your budget, then you have your money. In the beginning, most of your money is going to go to the operational budget, because then we're going to get to the third step. But most of it will be coming in there. And then let's talk about, you have a budgetary shortfall. You do your budget, you only bring home $2,500 a month, and your bills are $2,750. So you're using credit as an extension of income, which is putting you deeper and deeper into debt. And each month it gets a little bit more desperate. So now that you know, down to the bubble gum, to the nails, to the dog food, to whatever you have in your budget, what your monthly obligations are, at this point, you increase your income through a side hustle, a side business. Now, let's go back to the bank accounts. Operational account, that's what you pay your mortgage out of, your rent, your car payments, everything comes out of that account. You do automatic payments or whatever. Now, the first few months, because unless you have surplus, there's some of you who, after you do your budget and you're already doing the budget, you've got $500, $600, $700, $800 a month left over. Then you take that additional money and you start putting it in those 3 additional accounts proportionally. You start putting in expense. Like, let's say your surplus is $600. You got 3 accounts, 200, 200, 200. Real simple. And then as you go ahead and start to look at your plan, because we're going to talk about the 4th step in a minute, it will determine what goes in these buckets, because what you're doing is training yourself to manage money. This is one of the most important skills that you can have in life. I don't care who you are. If you get these skills knocked down, your path to developing wealth and then leaving something to your kids and developing generational wealth is much more assured if you just do what most people erroneously consider will be the path of getting out of trouble, is to make more money while not handling the money that is currently coming in. Now you've got your buckets, and what'll happen is once you start putting money in there, you will not miss that extra money, because now this money is intentional and it has a purpose. And then around the 6th or 7th month, let's say you're $600 surplus, and you've got $5,000 in these accounts. So let's say your car, which is paid for, breaks down, is an $800 expense. You pull that out of your expense account. It doesn't affect current income. It doesn't impact the operational account. So your stress level stays low. And why do you want your stress level to stay low? Because now we're going to jump to goal 4, which is step 4, set up goals. Everyone that's trying to build a business or a side hustle or something is stressful. I've got many videos on this channel. Be sure to subscribe, check them out. That it's going to take time. So while you're managing the current money that you have and you are building out something to make more money, you want to keep nominal stress, the stresses of life, paying bills. You want to keep that as low as possible. Now, I'm not one of those minimalists, just get rid of everything, go move to the desert. Hey, if you want to move to the desert, that's cool, that's your thing, no problem. But I believe in the law of abundance. There's a lot of money out here. It's just if you properly set yourself up for this, you can win, and you don't have to live like a nomad or a pauper. Now, on step 4, set some goals, and your first goal should be a side hustle that can make you an additional $1,000 to $2,500 per month on top of your job. And let's be really clear about this. This is not to replace your income. This is to give you additional income to build a business that can eventually replace your income. One of the big problems here is many people try to do everything in one step. Create this business, get more income, and escape this life you don't like. And then you're trying to solve complex problems with simple applications and simple solutions. Make more money solves all my problems. No, you have complicated problems. It's going to take a complicated solution to solve those problems. So stage 1, manage your money. Stage 2, balance out. Stage 3, make more money. Stage 4, set a goal for a business. Okay, so you're in stage 3. You are doing a hustle. You're making $1,500 extra a month. That money does not go into increased lifestyle. That's another mistake that many people make. More money comes in, all of a sudden my lifestyle's got to increase. I got to do this. I'm getting all this other stuff. No, that $1,500 goes into those 3 additional accounts. Now, since you're rolling along, you could put the whole $1,500 into your investment account. And this is not for investments in the stock market. This isn't for investments in real estate. Many people, and this is something that we talk about or we'll be talking about in Hustle Camp, can start a very good business for between $10,000 and $20,000. And I'm talking about a business that can grow into millions and millions of dollars of revenue. That's the kind of leverage the internet we have. So you're going to need $15,000 to $20,000 money in that that investment account, while you still have your operational money coming in, while you're still putting in money into your savings account. So you see how this happens, because then you have this additional source of income and you're just stacking it into your investment account. So in 10 months, you got 15 grand or sooner. And then once again, you do not quit your job. You do not just leave everything. Once again, you now have money coming in to support you. You have sound financial habits, and you have your own investment money. Now, why is this important? You're going to spend the money that you've earned, that you worked really hard for, very differently than the money that you will borrow or someone gives to you. You're going to treat it very, very differently. You're going to be more judicious in your decisions and such. It's a different ball game. So I'm going to jump into the chat, see what we got going on. What's up, Errol? What's up, Lamode? DANV. What's up, Monica? What's up, Roz? I made a mistake and bought a new car in 2015. Good info. Guess I will sell it or refinance for a lower payment. If you already are on the hook for a car, if you can't get rid of it, I don't want you to hurt yourself, but we'll talk about that. Let's say you got your additional income coming in. You would divert that income and you would get that car paid off as quick as possible. Many people would disagree. It's a depreciating asset, but the thing is, as long as you have that obligation, and let me step back a little bit. If your operational budget can cover it and you can still put money in your additional buckets, your investment bucket, your expense bucket, and your savings bucket, then that's not a big thing. And that's what the additional income will help you do. So it's not that bad if you're making more money. What's up, Tasha? What's up, Errol? So let's talk about stage 4. Let's say you want to build a wallet company. You want to make wallets. You like leather or something like that, and you've done well and you've made a few pieces and sold them to friends, but 20 grand, you could get a very nice wallet made. And this is what's funny. You'll probably use 5,000 for the materials of the wallet and like 15 grand for marketing, websites, and that kind of stuff. But now you're in that position to spend that bread. You are not in debt. You are not spending on your credit card. And this is something that if you sit down and you really, really work hard, you can do within a year. Most people. If you're in a situation where you're like 80, 90, 100,000 in debt, you got student loans, I would say if your student loans are manageable, I would not try to pay them off, because if you got $100,000 in debt, there's a difference between paying off $100K in debt and paying off a $20,000 car loan. There's a big difference, because it'll probably take you a few years. Whereas if you had continued to make those payments on those student loans and build that business, in the same time that if you just work strictly on building, saving and paying off those student loans, that 2 to 3 year period, you could have created a business that gives you an additional $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in personal income after expenses, taxes, and stuff, where you would just be in a better position to pay those loans off. So there's a lot that goes with that. Don't worry about the buffering and stuff like that. Typically that will resolve, because this is going to render, and if you've missed anything, you can just come back and watch it. What's up, Lamode? Let me go back. Says, what's up, Marquise? What's up, Short Change? What's up, Roosevelt? Earl, is it safe to put 40% of income from a said hustle for taxes? That's going to take a deeper conversation. I had to lease a car ripoff, paying $375 a month for a 2008 Cobalt, but I have kids and need the car fast. Well, let's talk about that DANV. I'm going to say maybe you owe like 6, 7, 8 grand on that, if that much. I don't know what the Cobalt goes for, but if you follow the stuff that's in this video and get you an additional, let's just say you get an additional source of income of $800 a month, and you go ahead and put that in your accounts. You've got your expense account, your savings account, and your investment account. All of the money from your job goes into your operational account, you could probably pay that off very quickly or stack yourself up a monetary war chest. Now, what's really interesting about, when I do videos like this, not a lot of people get excited, right? They'll come in here and they're like, I already know that. That's boring. What foundation, because once you learn that bread, because they were brought up, many people looking into the flashy way, the fast way to make a lot of money so they can, quote, go to the beach and do nothing. That's just not the information I'm putting out. Just trying to make it. I'm straddle driving my hoopty with no car note. I'm on the road to 10 to 20K short change. It's really, really good. Now, the fourth stage should take some time. And this is why if you start this today and around your third or fourth month, then you can kind of get into that, because this is what you got to do. You got to get your bread together. You got to get your credit together. You got to get your bread together, because once you do that, a lot of things in your life disappear. Your car breaks down. You're like, oh, I got $6,000 in the bank. I could pay that $1,000 car bill. And it doesn't disrupt any current money that's coming in. That's the big thing. That's the big trick. Then once you make additional money, since you now are managing your money well, then you are in a situation to start to get wealthy. Because here's the principle. If you're always in a situation where you're just you're just making it, you never have surplus, you never go forward with abundance, you are essentially treading water. You're in the same place year after year after year. So even if you just did this on a basic level, and let's just say you improved your income $10,000 a year, and you get out of debt, you were better off than probably 60–70% of the people in the country. Because there are many people who are making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year who are living paycheck to paycheck, because they're living like they're making $1 million, and they're using the extension of credit to create that facade. So this is just the basics, and I'm giving you what I've done and what I do, because at one point I got to a situation where I was saving 50% of my income, and then I got to a situation where I was saving 90% of my income, and the only way that worked is I had a high income. I mean, if you are making $600,000 a year, let's say you're living on 80, or you're living on 100. Let's just say you're living on 100,000 straight, which is like 9 G's a month. You can, or maybe even you have enough money, 50 years old, as a person new every week, that getting the bait, all that stuff tonight, early, the pad later.